Welcome to another parent-teacher video lesson from the earlygiftedmanual.com, a free website for homeschooled children 3 to 7 years old and their parents that promotes and develops giftedness at an early age. I am Gary Blank, the creator of that site, and your host and facilitator for this video and all of the videos in my educational program. As the video lessons are designed to work in conjunction with the program on my website, I ask you to, at some point, click on the URL link in the description box below, and this action will take you to the earlygiftedmanual.com. By doing that, you will be able to put this lesson and all of the video lessons here on my channel in the proper context of the total program that I am presenting to you and your child. And welcome everyone to video lesson 50. And in this lesson, I will be showing you a good method to teach your child the position words. And what do I mean by position words? Well, words like top, bottom, middle, left, right, between, above, below, next to, in, out, in front of, behind, and of course we can go on and on and on with those, but those are the major ones at any rate. And as I recited those, if you were listening closely, you would also know that many of those words are opposites, like left, right, above, below, on, off. So those are the words we will be looking at in this lesson. And the materials you will need for this lesson, as you can see, a 3-tiered set of shelves, 3 shelves in 1 unit, objects to place on the shelves, and you can see I've chosen some different objects on the shelves there, and you'll see how we'll be using those very shortly here. And you will need to go to the earlygiftedmanual.com and make a copy of this printable. It's called Position Words, and I'm going to try to get it in front of the camera for you right now so you can see what that looks like. It's just a list of some of these words that we'll be working with here. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is you want to place your objects on the shelf, 9 objects. However, I have 10 because I put a block inside the, as you can see, inside that clear plastic container, and that'll help us to work with the concept of inside and outside later. But basically, there are 9 positions, maybe I should say, on this unit of shelf. 3 shelves and 3 positions on each shelf. So I hope that's clear to you. And there are actually 3 techniques you can use to enhance your child's understanding of these position words. The first kind of concept you can work with is you could ask a question like, what is above, below, between, etc., something else? So that's a good place to start. Those are probably the simplest questions because your child just has to give you an answer and name the thing that you're describing. So let's start out by giving that a try here. Like you could ask your child a question, what is next to the sock monkey? And of course, hopefully they would answer, well, it's that multicolored juggle ball on the top shelf. You could ask a question like, what is directly below the cup? And of course, they would answer the book. What is directly above the blue bowl? And as you can see, that is a yellow ball. Let me give you a few more just so you get the idea here. What is between the sock monkey and the toy car? And of course, that's the juggle ball. What is inside the clear plastic container? and hopefully they would say the red block. What is to the right of the book? So now we're getting into right and left. You can check to see if your child understands that. And what is to the right of the book? And of course they should answer the blue block. And you could even approach this a slightly different way. You could ask a question like this: name the objects on the top shelf, or the middle shelf, or the bottom shelf. And of course they would have to name 3, or in case of the middle shelf, 4 objects. So that's a great way to start when you're doing this exercise with these kind of questions, where they merely have to answer your question with the object you're referring to. And another approach you can take is what I call fill in the blank statements. Let me give you an example. Like you might say, the book is blank, the bowl, and the blue block. And you could tell your child that when you say blank, they have to fill in that blank with the right word or phrase. It might be 2 or 3 words. So you could give them an example, and you could say the book is between the bowl and the blue block. So you replace the word blank with, they would replace the word blank with between. So obviously it's gotten a little bit more difficult, a slightly different approach here. Let me give you a few more examples with these fill in the blank statements. The sock monkey is blank the yellow ball. And of course they would hopefully say above the yellow ball. The book is blank the cup. And of course it is below the cup. The toy car is blank the juggle ball. There could be a few different answers. It could be toy car is next to the juggle ball, beside the juggle ball, or even to the right of the juggle ball. And you could make a statement: the red block is blank the clear plastic container. And of course they would answer inside. So there's yet another approach you can take. And finally, you could take even another approach, which is going to up the ante even a little more in terms of challenge for your child. You could have your child place and move the objects that are on the shelves. So now they're getting involved. It's more kinetic. They'll have to be moving things around, so they'll have to be good listeners and really understand your vocabulary to be successful. Let me give you an example. You might tell your child, take the juggle ball off the top shelf and place it on the bottom shelf. So your child would walk up to the set of shelves and do that. You can see if they really understand what you're saying and can follow your request or command, however you want to put it. Here's another one. Place the yellow ball inside the bowl. Let me just give you a few more. Place the book under the blue block. So that might be a little harder for them. Place the red block outside of the clear plastic container. So they'd have to take the red block out and put it anywhere, really, according to these directions. Anywhere outside the clear plastic container would be good. And you might want to say, place the cup to the left of the toy car. So you can find out if your child really understands right and left. And finally, here's one last example. Place the toy car in front of the sock monkey. So 3 different ways you can work with your child to kind of cement this concept of position words. And let's see, what else could I say about this? Well, it has a lot of benefits. Obviously, the obvious one is just learning the position words, and also your child will have to be a good listener And if you want to make it even more difficult, you could string 2 or 3 of these things together to see if they, you know, as a memory test, to see if they can listen to everything you say and perhaps do 2 or 3 tasks right in a row without you having to repeat it. So these are some of the ways you can work with this setup here, this setup of shelves and objects on shelves. And I think the last thing I want to say here is that if you have an advanced child, you can actually have him or her write these position words if that's where they're at right now, if they can do that kind of thing. So they could copy them off of the list I just showed you. Or you could even, once they're pretty good at that, you could dictate the words and see if they can write them out and spell them correctly. So that's lesson 50, position words.